Hey cats, what's happening? Good morning. It's kind of a dreary day. Yesterday was nice. Almost 65 degrees yesterday. But the wind was terrible. I mean, the wind was just blowing so hard. It was crazy. It roared through the trees out here in the woods. And I'm surprised I don't have trees down. Maybe I do. I don't know. I really haven't walked around the property, but I haven't seen anything. Yesterday, though, was spent cutting firewood, loading it on my truck, stacking it up at the house, because the temperature is going to drop, and as we go through the end of February and March, I'm going to need more firewood. But anyway, yesterday afternoon, my buddy Buzz came over and gave me a hand, and look what we did. Yeah. We brought the Yamaha up here into the garage so that I can start work on it. First thing I'm going to do is figure out what parts are broken on here, or what part is broken. So I'm going to have to disassemble the side covers on the case there and see what's going on. But I got a lot of restoration to do if I can fix it, and I'm sure it can be fixed. It's just a matter of time. I got no rush. I mean, it might be a long-term project, but still, hey, I can start on it now. I've got the gas tank here. I had this gas tank sitting out in the shed out back there, and it was half full of old fuel. I dumped the old fuel out. It was stale and it smelled terrible. And the inside of the tank has tons of rust in it. Now there's a method to cleaning that out, and I will get to that at one point or another, but I'm not going to do that right away. First thing is I got to see if I can fix what's broken. This is easy to fix. The other thing is there's a nice dent in the fuel tank, and I'm not sure if I can pop that out or not, you know, by prying something against it from inside the tank. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, but you know, if I can pop that dent out, it'll hold a couple ounces more fuel anyway. I did put air in the tires yesterday, but it seems to be holding. I don't know. I may have to. The tires are okay, but they're old. I mean, the last time this bike ran had to be 25 years ago. So, but I'm not going to ride it on the road. You know, it would just be ridden around the property here, if anything. So, I'm not going to run out and buy new tires for it. I mean, they still got good tread on, real good tread on them. But they're a little dry, you know what I mean. So we'll see how they hold up, as long as they're not leaking. Like I said, I did put air in them yesterday, and they seem to be still pretty firm, so they're holding air. So that's good. My mom had recovered this seat years ago with some leather scraps, so it's not the original seat. But I can clean it up. There is some damage on the front, which I think I can kind of bang out a little bit and straighten that up. And this is bent too, but I can get that moved back, straightened back up easy enough. This isn't the stock fender for this. Was an add-on that I did back when I was a kid. This motocross fender on there. But we'll get it all cleaned up. Take one step at a time. First thing I'm going to do is take the side covers off and see if I can figure out what the problem is. Now, because my hands are going to be busy working, I'm not going to film all the work that I do as I'm doing it, but I'll keep you updated as I move along, just so you know what's happening and where I'm at with this. Well, let's get started and see what happens. Now, the first thing I run into is the bolts that hold these covers on are old Phillips heads. Newer bikes nowadays they have the hex or the star bits. So these are a little trickier to get out. So what I do is, you know, I'll put the screwdriver on there, tap it a little bit with the hammer just to break it loose a little bit, and then they unscrew. But see, there's a lot of slop in these things. So that makes it a little more difficult. I may really look into getting new screws for all of these. Yeah, that would be the wise thing to do. Well, for today, I have taken both covers off. I took this flywheel cover off. Everything seems to be okay on this side. On this side, there's something broken inside there, though. And I'm not quite sure exactly what's broken yet. I don't know, I might have to take the clutch off to see which part is broken, because it's back behind the clutch there where the problem is. I believe it's right here. This pin is sheared off, because that shouldn't go down like that. I got a long way to go, but hey, I got a long time to do it too, don't I? Well, I can tell you this much. I'm not a full-blown mechanic. I'm what you call a backyard mechanic. So I've never worked on one of these 2-cycle motors before. I've never worked on a transmission before. So I'm kind of in the dark, but I'll learn, I'll figure it out. What I did was I went online and I thought, well, I'm going to get the service manual for this. And the only service manual that I could find online was on eBay, and it was from Britain, Great Britain. And they wanted $75, and I just couldn't pay that much for it. And it was an old beat-up copy too, you know, with torn pages and fingerprints all over it. A little bit more research, and I found the complete book on a PDF file that I downloaded onto my computer. So I can actually print off the pages that I mean, there's probably 100 and some pages to this service manual, but I can print out the pages that I need to see the pictures or the blow-ups of the certain parts that I need to have and need to replace. So I'm glad I just didn't go out and buy the side cover, because that doesn't seem to be the part that I need. It's a different part behind the clutch there that's broken, and it's part of the shift linkage that runs it through the gears. So yeah, I don't know. It might be a lost cause, but I doubt it. You know, everything can be fixed. So anyway, as I do, I always put my tools away when I'm done. I got some sandwich bags, and what I've done is all the bolts that I took out, I've labeled and put the bolts in there. So I've got, you know, the side case bolts there I got the left case bolts there. And like I said, I'm probably going to replace them anyway. So, but anyway, those are all together, and you know, when it comes time to put them back together, there won't be any confusion. I'll know where everything goes. Instead of just throwing everything into one box and going, okay, which bolt goes where? Yeah. So big project. We'll get it. We'll get it. It'll just take some time. I might have to even buy some more tools. Who knows? I may have to get a clutch puller or something. I don't know. I've never taken one of these off before. I don't even know where to begin. So I'll go ahead and look at the manual though and see what happens. I did have to take the foot pegs off to get to the side cover, to get that, to pull that off of this side though, to see where the problem was. So yeah, I'll disassemble a lot of it, and if I can get the parts and get it fixed, I'll clean it all up. You know, I'll clean the wheels up. I'll make it look nice if we can get her going. I don't doubt that we can't. Like I said, it's just going to take some time. Gotta get a new battery too. This thing, good. That's the original battery, 1973. So it's probably shot. I don't know. I wouldn't think it was still any good after all these years, but who knows? I'm sure it's dried up. No fluid in it. There's a couple things I noticed also. The speedo cable is missing. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know. My son had worked on it, so I don't know what he did with the parts, where he put them. And there's a couple other questionable things. I think when he put it back together, he just kind of threw it back together and said, oops, there you go. It's broke. So now the challenge is to get her going again. Well, it's cold today. It's raining. We're supposed to have thunderstorms today. Right now it's just like a light shower. So, good grief, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? I'll figure out something. Alright, I found the schematic for that. And it appears that this lever right here and this disc that shifts is the problem. That's where the dislocation is. That's where it's broke. So, and it does look like I'm gonna have to pull the clutch off to get to it. So we can do it. We can do it. All right, cats, one more note I would like to add. If you watched my last video where I took the bike out and we took a ride into Medina, or my town, first shot at using the new windshield, right away I noticed there was a lot more wind in my face than with the higher original windshield that I had, which was probably about yay high compared to this one down there. So, you know, big difference in the wind, but there was less wind resistant on the bike, so, you know, there was a little bit, I was able to notice a little bit how it's just a little bit peppier, you know, in the wind, because that higher windshield causes obviously more drag. Now, the other thing I've been considering, if I plan on doing any long distance travel, I actually been looking at, these are quick release, they're easy on and off. You just flick the little lever here and you just pop it, the whole thing snaps off in a matter of seconds. But I've been considering getting the same make but the higher one, that if I do plan on traveling long distance, you know, I can easily snap this one off and snap the higher one on for touring. But for going around town, you know, and just enjoying the weather, this is great, and I really like the looks and style of it. Well, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. But thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your comments down below. Give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe and join me for the rest of this ride. Till next time, cats, ride hard and die free.